'cause all of the waves, they keep chasing after me. Even though we are out of reach, I can feel the water on my feet. The things that you said to me, they will grow inside, they make believe. I am still dancing on the feelings that you gave me. I am still dancing on the feelings that you give me.
How about now? Yay. Okay. That should work. There we go. Hey, Claw. Good to see ya. It's been a minute. Alright. Good. Kyle, allow yourself to moderate. Excellent. Doing okay. Trying to get back into the swing of things. That's not how you spell that word. Excellent. I know what his motivation is right now. I don't know what is going on with my bitrate today, but it's not looking good. That's good. I'm glad you're getting back into it too. I took about 1.5 years off, give or take. Yeah, that's about right. April to October, twice. But if the stream is being not good, one, it's because I have to stream in 720p. Because the world hates me. And two, because I don't know, the bitrate's being funky and has been all day. So if it's being a bother, just let me know. I'm not going to restart the stream for like the 10th time. Go tell Cassius for me. I wonder if Klaus got the notifications about me getting on, and then again, and then again, and then again. I got like 10 of them, and I was like, well, maybe I'll check them out. That is my assumption of what happened. But I don't know. Maybe you don't have notifications on. Maybe you're just here for the fun. I like to think it's a little bit of everything. Oh, let me take this out. And along with, I'm doing the colored lights, which I did tonight. I'm doing the colored lights. Wait, you did? Okay, well that makes me feel a little bit better about things, because I was on and off the stream repeatedly, because there's not a great way to test it on Twitch without actively streaming. As far as I know, I'm not an expert. But yeah, I'm doing the colored lights that are supposed to pulse in rhythm with the Pretzel music. Pretzel's the app I use for streamable music. Yesterday, my stream got taken down off Facebook as I was playing too much real music, and I'm gonna try and focus on writing. I was editing a playlist cover for the second half of the night. It is T-Pain for sure. If you want to see that cover, I can show you. Do anything I can possibly do in order to not write. Open. This is the new album cover. Or not album, playlist cover. That would actually be a photo of T-Pain based on the Google results. You know, a good, nice new album for sad music for me. Get back to writing, Full. How dare you speak to me that way in my own stream? You're my only donor, and this is how I'm treated? I guess you're paying content. Fair enough. For those who aren't aware, I have crippling ADHD. That's a fun fact. New story ideas. Yeah, you pay me $3, by the way. I'm expecting 3 more tonight. New story ideas? Not really. I've been on a really, really dry spell. Like, since, I mean, I'm sure you're one of my only subscribers. I've not been on since April of 2021. I may have done a stream in there once or twice, but I've had no creative energy since last April. So I did a couple short stories. I got some stuff published in some journals, nothing major. But all of that was stuff I wrote during that time, like March and April of 2021. Which I guess would be last year, but it's not technically last April. Yeah, I've been... Well, They're small publications, but you know, I also I applied to MFA programs for the second year in a row and didn't get in anywhere. So I went to Reddit and I was like, hey, why am I not getting in? And everyone hated my writing, and I'm like, I don't think that's true because I know some people like it. I know, like, my short fiction is more of it's laments. They're not as traditional narrative. It's like the idea of the main character is in a moment reminiscing about something, talking to themselves. That's what a lot of my short fiction has been. And some of it has done well in publication, others have not, and I felt it was very strong, but other people did not agree. And so if I apply again to MFA programs, I'm going to need to focus on a little more additional fiction, I think, which I do have a book that I'm querying right now. No luck, but I feel it's a good first novel. It's called Bree. It's market fiction. I don't know the right genre to call it. A little teeny bit of magical realism, kind of a psychological thriller. It has a little bit of everything in it. I love the book. And I think it is very publishable. But so far, agents have not agreed. I've not done a whole lot of querying, but I've done enough. So perhaps some changes need to be made. I'm not sure. But anyways, so I'm querying that, a few publications, but other than that, I've been dry as a bone when it comes to creativity. George R. Martin, I think. Stephen King has been publishing a long time, so I'd be surprised if it was him. That sounds cool. How's your writing been going along? Oh, and sidebar, this grape juice is 75% tequila, so having a good time. I've not had a drink since the breakup, and I got grape juice, and I said this could use alcohol, and so I put some alcohol in it. I had enough. This is exactly. I also play a lot of video games, and for those who don't know what Paradox is, it's a company that makes grand strategy games or top-down map. You play as a country kind of thing, and a new game came out for them, and my ruler of my country, I was playing as Texas in like the 1800s, was... Yeah, Victoria 3 just came out. I was playing as Texas, and my ruler was 100. He was very popular, but he was negative 1,613 years old, and that was a very, very interesting thing I saw. That's cool. That's definitely something like that I have in mind too for high fantasy to science fantasy. I'm not sure exactly how yours would work, but my storyline evolves over the course of like 2,000 years. So there are books sporadically within that, and so like a natural transition from, you know, this, not even medieval, it's ancient Roman fantasy to science fantasy would definitely be the same thing that I had in mind. How does your story evolve into that, might I ask? She nodded, heading out. I'm gonna meanwhile try and put some words on the page. I'm also trying to do National Novel Writing Month, so 50,000 words by the end of November. I've done more. I've also done it in November. Interesting. Never put that together. But And we're gonna see how this turns out. She nodded heading out. Let's see. Nope. I think that works better here. That's cool. So it's would be different characters. That makes a lot of sense. Mine is the same characters, but I like that idea of like sealing it away. That sounds like strong narrative, right? You're end one book and things seem fine, then like 2,000, 3,000 years later, it's like it's not. I like that. I like that concept. For the record, Chicago Dog is also a cam, so, but just to set the record straight. Yeah, that sounds cool. Just like the magic or whatever evolve. I don't like calling things magic because magic is a very specific type of power. So, and you're using power. So, does the power evolve while it's locked away into kind of like a different thing a little bit? Or is it just who they are? They harness it differently. Most people we've had in a stream in a while. Perhaps Leona. Interesting. That sounds super cool. First thing when I hear strings, I think string theory, but I'm assuming it's not that. But I like that. That sounds like really interesting powers and like the stars and the blood. That's a good combination, I think. The problem I've been having, apparently, is showing versus telling, which, in my honest opinion, as an unsuccessful author, is bullshit. Because showing is just telling, but differently. I think someone said, put it as, it's telling better. because anything you do in a story is going to be telling. Any other than like a question and maybe some other dialogue, every sentence is telling. So the question is how, I guess, you're supposed to imply emotions rather than say them, but how do you imply thoughts and feelings that are more complex than he was mad, right? Obviously, I'm not saying Mark was angry, but he's having complex thoughts that I wish to portray, and him balling up his fist doesn't capture that. Perhaps. Yeah, and that's exactly like the type of thing I would, I'd write if, I don't know, it's important for me to portray the main character's thoughts, right? Because it's more than just he's mad or upset or however exactly he's feeling. It's this complex, like he wants his friends to trust him, and there's not like a good physical manifestation of that. There's not like a unique manifestation of that. Yeah. There were like 5 Roman names, from what I understand. There were more, but there wasn't like a huge wealth of variety. To check something while I take a moment. It's a phone game. Checking a phone game. Okay, sure. 13 minutes. I'm playing Clash of Clans again. Everything is looking exactly like it did in April of 2021. Not exactly. But, you know, similar vibes. Neko, were you fed? I need to check the cat real quick. Neko, did it feed you? Did it feed you? I think it did. It had to have. Now this new thing for you. What? Do an extra. I got a new cat feeder because the other one didn't work, so I'm not sure if this one's working either, so I had an opportunity to be there when it's supposed to go off. Here now, but it's in the other room, so. connections when we can, right? For those who aren't aware, Neko is a primary antagonist in the series. Probably like the final antagonist in the series. He's like one of the direct ancestors of the main characters. Very powerful. So the lore is that 700-ish BC or BCE, there was a prophet in Greece, and he led the army of Earth, the Legion, to unify most of it, and then he was given immortality as a very powerful deity. Then he went insane when he found out his wife was dying and had a son with what was previously a servant, because he actually abandoned his wife to go fight with the Legion and be a prophet. So Zeno, also known as the Ancestor, took over the Fantasy Kingdom, took over all the realms there, exiled the Creator and all the gods and other deities, to like basically their central realm. So like the realm that the creator already like lived in. He isolated them there, conquered everything else, ruled with an iron fist. It's an evil empire. It's, not good for anyone. And he had a bunch of kids. So Earth, our realm, is technically independent from the rest of the kingdom because it's too big. And it's too big, and we're like immune to the thing that made him go insane, but the rest of the kingdom isn't. And so there's this outbreak, and the creator, who was focusing on Earth and the other planets here, was like forced to return to the kingdom to help resolve that, and kind of abandoned Earth and let it fend for itself, which we were fully capable of. And so when the other realms weren't, because the big issue was this virus that infected people, made them go mad, and we were, as I said, immune to it. We're like natural carriers, basically. And so Zeno caught it, went mad, conquered everything. And he had 2 kids from each realm. So there are 10 realms in our realm. So there's white, red, orange, yellow, gray, green, brown, blue, pink, purple, white, red, orange, yellow, brown, green, gray, blue, pink, purple. Yeah, okay. So they had 2 kids from each realm that had these very specific powers. They started this basically dynasty, this lineage of powered people. And he also had 2 kids from who left Earth to fend for itself, like the creator did, like El did. But he had 2 kids there as well. And they had like all the powers. They were like their powers were diluted, but they could do all the different types of powers. Whereas the people from the specific realms could only do one type of power, based on which realm they were from. They had this lineage, and so each of the first 2 children that he had were called ancients. He gave them immortality. They're extra powerful. And so Neko is one of the ancients. He's one of the ancients from Earth. He's a primary antagonist in the series. We don't really see him, but we don't know this yet. But within this book, you'll learn that there's like this cult around him. So he came to Earth, or he was from Earth, and I think he was, I don't remember exactly where he was from, but he came to the Legion, quickly took charge of it, because he's one of the only people in this world with powers, because he's the first generation. instituted, like, basically the ancestor Xeno's reign upon the Legion, turned a lot of them into Xeno loyalists, ancestral loyalists, and he figured out he was immortal because he was experimenting with his powers and accidentally cut his head off, and he was still alive, and so he was just headless from then on out. He carried his head around, but, like, never reattached it. He was, like, pretty powerful, pretty stalwart ruler of the Legion. Evil guy. And then eventually he left. He didn't flee, but he went off to a different planet, where there's one planet for each realm. And he went off to the planet that was associated with the Orange Realm, and he went off to there. There were still a bunch of cultists in the Legion, and at this point, it's been centuries since Neko was around, but there are a bunch of cultists still. And Commander Zhu is one of them. But he is currently trying to deceive Mark into trusting him, and trying to make Mark think that the general of his division is actually the one who's, like, the problem. So Zeus, so he named his magical dog, basically, after Neko, which is, funnily enough, my cat's name. My other cat is named Isadora. She is the other multi-realm ancient. So, that is essentially what this is referencing. Mark doesn't get it yet. He doesn't know about the cult. He'll find out about it at the end of this part, basically, and then he's going to lead the Legion, and then he's going to have to go undercover in the kingdom, in the Empire at this point, the magical Empire, to defeat Xeno, because he's the only person powerful enough to do that. He's like the true blood. He's like the true blood of the ancestors. He's the living reincarnation, basically. And so he has to do that. I should add, Xeno lost his immunity when he became immortal, because he was made a full, like, super powerful deity. All his humanity was like, forsaken, and so he was then susceptible to the virus. While Mark is undercover in the kingdom, Bill is going to take charge. Bill, who is currently in the kingdom right now, helping the resistance, is going to come back during the time when Mark's leading the Legion, and then when Mark leaves, Bill's going to take over as the leader of the Legion. And he's going to institute these very, very strict purges of cultists, basically eradicating the cult of Neko from the Legion, for personal reasons. As it turns out, and we don't know this yet, and I don't know how I'm exactly going to reveal this, other than over stream, but Neko the cat, yes. No, Neko's a character, and my cat is named after the character. But Bill was seduced by Isadora a couple years ago, and she had a kid with him. And so this kid is a first or second generation master Sai, so super powerful, and Bill is the son of Apollo, so it's like this extra powerful dude, and she's gonna get the Xeno to grant her son with Bill immortality. Bill knows this to an extent, but he knows who he slept with. He doesn't really know he has a son or a child. I don't know if it's a son or a daughter yet. But basically, out of spite for Isadora, he's gonna purge the Legion of all the Nekoian cultists. Funnily enough, Mark also ends up having a child with Isadora at least 1900 years in the future. And Mark's going to kill the kid without knowing it was his kid. No, Mark does not have a child with Clarice. So he only has not three children, but he has a child with Isadora. He he has a child with a future wife who ends up going insane and killing herself and her children when she finds out that Mark is this immortal, super powerful dude. And then Mark has a final who he has like kids with. Maybe. I'm leaning towards a maybe. I'm still not sure if he's actually going to have kids with her. Self-insert, perhaps? But that is an over-explanation of why this dog is called Neko. It may actually be pronounced Nico, but I don't care. It's my book and my cat. Oh, Neko it is. We don't know exactly what the ancient Egyptians sounded like. It's an ancient Egyptian name. There was a pharaoh called Nico or Neko, so... It was also kind of funny, because Neko, spelled differently, is Japanese for cat, and my cat's named Neko, and so everyone's like, oh, named after the Japanese. I'm like, no, named after a character in my book, it's spelled differently. Pronounced maybe the same, I don't really know. Cheers. And this is now a letter, as Zoo is in the process of seducing Mark. I love this. So, Mark and Bill's parents are killed. It was an attempt on Mark's life, actually. Zoo has been manipulating Mark. He knows exactly who Mark is. He knows exactly what Mark's doing. And he has been manipulating Mark basically from the get-go to try and win him over. And he started by manipulating his memory when Mark's mind was still accessible, and giving him this like kind of false memory of mostly the same, but in the memory, the figure who kills his parents, he only catches a glimpse of it, is an angel. And that works because we all know, this is a true thing, that Mark's parents were killed with an angel sword called Heartfire. And so Mark has this false memory. He knows the parents are killed with an angel sword, and he's trying to hunt down the angel sword. He's trusting his angel friend less and less, and Zoo is actually the one who killed his parents, and is the one who has the angel sword, in which Mark finds out at the end of this part. And so Zoo is now... He's, gotten Mark to distrust some of the people he considers friends, and is now trying to reel Mark in kind of as a protege / manipulating him into being, like, one of the cult without letting him know there's a cult. He doesn't want Mark to know he's evil, and he wants Mark on his side, so... And he's trying to change Mark to the bad side without Mark knowing he's going to the bad side. That's more about Zeno. Or not Zeno, that's more about Mark's parents and Zoo. Shoot. I think it's pronounced Zoo. Not positive. I forget exactly how an X is pronounced. X is pronounced in Chinese. Mostly right. I know it's more of a sh than a s. The shu. It's close enough. Close enough for my purposes, anyway. I will work on it if I'm ever talking about it super publicly. I need to be back in a minute. I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm not gonna end the stream because I'm coming back, but I do need to separate myself from the chair for a few minutes. Oh, it's 75% tequila. Love to see it. Said, haven't drunk it since the breakup, so I figured it'd be time. I'm going to I have a fun mic, so I'm using my good mic that's set up with my PC. I stream off my laptop, but my PC is the one with the good mic attached, and so I'm basically streaming the webcam and the mic from my PC, like false as a artificial virtual input to my Mac, and using that to do everything, which is kind of cool. It's a cool thing. I don't need a capture card to do it. Which means I can play games on my PC and stream to my Mac. But at that point, I just stream from my PC. Anyways, I need to be right back. So I'm gonna change the scene and mute my mic just in case. No, oh dear. That's not what we want. I don't know if you can still hear me, but I'm fixing these scenes.